welcome back to my channel. My name is Kaleia and this is my 5th knitting podcast. I wanted to talk today about some finished objects, actually one finished object only, a few whips that I have, and then one plan or something I'm gonna cast on soon. So yeah, I have been away for about a week from where I live to go to Hawaii, which I grew up there, so it was nice to see some family and get a break from school because it's been okay, but it's always nice to take a break. So during that time I did do some knitting when I had some downtime, which wasn't too much, but I did get a little bit done on the plane and then like in the morning and evenings. So I thought I would start off. First, I want to say that everything that I mention will be linked in the description, so if you want to know yarn or what pattern, it'll all be linked down below, as well as my Instagram and Ravelry. So the first finished object that I have are my Oona socks. It is a pattern by Oomie Knits, I believe, and it's in the first volume, I think, of the 52 weeks of socks. It is a lace, all over lace patterned sock. It has a 1x1 ribbing at the top, the lace, and then the heel flap and gusset with the garter stitch, the peacock stitch, I believe, and then I have partridge. I don't know why I said peacock, but I have partridge. Then it has just a wedged toe standard, and these were really easy to make. I talked a lot, maybe not a lot, but I do briefly talk about it in my last podcast because I had one finished. It's a super easy lace pattern repeat with just knit togethers and slip knits, so it's really self-explanatory. There's nothing I struggled with at all. It was very smooth sailing. I honestly think it looks really good. I had a little bit of, not troubles, but kind of a hard time deciding what size to make because I had made a sock previously that was 72 stitches. I thought maybe I could make it a little bit smaller, but I kind of like the loose fit around the foot so I don't have to struggle with getting it on my foot. I ended up going with the 71 stitch count, and I feel like that was perfect. Maybe my feet are indeed thicker than I thought, but that's okay. They do fit. I'd say that for some reason, I think this is just the way my feet work. The actual foot part, the bottom part here, this part is wider than the ankle and the leg part, so that part fits looser than the actual foot, but it's not anything really loose where it's really baggy. These socks might stretch over time, which could be a little bit troublesome, but I'll be careful and hopefully they won't stretch too much. But whatever happens happens, and I'm okay with that. I used the Opal sock yarn in, I forget what color, but I'll put it down below. It's honestly a pretty soft yarn considering it's quite durable, so I would really recommend this yarn. I do have a little bit left over, and I do have some other Opal sock yarns that I'll probably use in future projects, so I'm honestly really excited to use it again. I would totally make this sock again, maybe in a different size, because the other sizes have 2 stitches in the middle, not 3, so it definitely changes up the look quite a bit if you look at other pictures on Instagram or Ravelry. So honestly, I'd be really interested in that. Another thing, I really like the garter stitch edging on this heel flap. It honestly makes it easier for me to pick up the stitches. I'm not really sure why, but I kind of like picking up the stitches on the garter stitch. It always works for me, and it's easier to count, I feel like. Well, honestly, it's really the same, but counting the bumps instead. But I like it. Either way works fine. I do like this heel flap. Yeah, I feel like there's not much else to say. It's a pretty standard sock, nothing too hard, difficult, but it makes it look pretty complicated even though it's not, so that's always fun, I guess. So that was those socks. That was my only finished object. I finished it on the way to Hawaii. So then so I'm gonna go into whips now. Been working on my square neck camisole by Garnoslikt. It looks like this so far. It's obviously not blocked, so it'll look more like that, I guess, when it's finished. I think before I started this a few months ago, I've been working on it off and on because, I don't know, I just kind of got lazy and wanted to do other projects, which is totally fine. But since last time, I put on the double knitted edging. This gave me so much trouble, I will be so honest. I first knit the armholes, and for some reason it just, I don't know, I'd never done it before, so I was like really confused as to which direction to like do it in. And then I ended up redoing it twice because this seam here, I wanted it to be directly in the middle, or at least like on the behind side, so that you wouldn't obviously see it on the front. You don't want to see the seam. And the way you start it is like you'll take your stitches, but then not pick up, but like knit one, I think yarn over or slip one, and then keep going, so it'll like shift it over a few stitches. And when I was doing, I forget which side, it shifted it over so that the seam was closer to the front side, and it was starting to bother me, so I went back. And so I would recommend, if you're doing this pattern or anything else that has double knitted edging in the round, just keep in mind that if you start here and are going clockwise, it'll shift it over a little bit clockwise. So I would adjust for that by like, at least for this pattern, it was like maybe 6 stitches or so that I went backwards to get it in the middle. I'm honestly not sure how to seam it better. This is about as good as it was gonna get. Like here, I just don't know why I couldn't seam it nicely with Kitchener stitch. Like I picked up 4 and then I just Kitchener stitched it together, and it does not look good. I'm not sure why, but honestly, it's on the back. It's really not that big of a deal. No one will notice. But other than that, I'm really liking how the front looks with the double knitted edging. It'll definitely look better once it's blocked. Another problem that I have is I should have made the straps longer. I can't remember what the count was, which I did originally, because I don't want the straps to be too loose and too baggy like on the underarm, but I think I might have made too few. I'm gonna really like aggressively pin it and block it, and hopefully that'll get better. And maybe if you wear it over time, the straps will get looser and longer, but I'm honestly not sure, and I'm a little scared because when I've tried it on, it's a little bit uncomfortable. Like it totally fits, but it feels like the straps are gonna like go like that, if you know what I mean, because they're too tight. So I don't know, hopefully it'll be okay. If not, I'll figure out something, because there's definitely no going back. So I don't know, I'm just gonna cross my fingers and hope for the best. But I do have most of the body done. I finished all the decreases. Oh, and I forgot to mention, this is knit on a 3mm needle with, I think it's Dusty Rose for knitting for olive merino. I'm really liking this yarn. It's super soft. I think it is perfect for summer. As long as it's not too hot out, I think I'll be wearing this. But it is definitely going to get hot in Japan really soon, so I probably won't get that much wear out of this until I go back home to the States, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm loving the way this looks, and I really like the color as well, so I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah, not much else to say, but I'm making good progress, and I'll definitely have this done the next time I do a podcast. The next whip that I'm going to talk about is my key cardigan, or key jacket? No, key cardigan by Petit knit. I have been working on this for quite a while, and I finished the sleeve before I went to Hawaii, so on this side, it's got the sleeve. The body is done as well. I forget if I had that done in the last episode or not. Here's the back. I'm knitting this in drops lima, Alpakka Folgetrad for the white, and then Cascade Alpakka Lace. So 3 types of yarn, held double for both of the colors. I am having some problems with the sizing because my gauge is off. I sized up, but then I've seen people, okay, for the body, some people have 5 stripes, some people have 4 stripes, and I was looking at all of like Petit knits and then other people's, and I really like the look of only having 4 stripes, so I decided to only do 4. Now the length is definitely quite short, and I'm hoping that I'll definitely be able to add length to it when I block it as much as possible, so I'm gonna rely on that. Sometimes I rely too much on blocking, but at the same time, it's like, what else am I supposed to do? I don't know. Yeah, so I've gotten this sleeve done since I last filmed a podcast, as well as I found off super nice looking cuff. I would love to hear opinions of other people if you have them, but I wasn't really sure whether to like carry down the yarn between the stripes or cut it and then have to sew them all in later. I tried carrying them down and I just wasn't liking the way, 1, it was looking. Maybe I'm not doing it right. And 2, it was just kind of difficult. I'd rather only hold 1 yarn most of the time if I can. So now I have all these ends to weave in, which is really unfortunate, and I'm not looking forward to it. But at least it looks okay. Oh, I must have forgotten to pick that up, but that's okay. Other than that, it's going pretty well. I definitely talked about having some issues with, it was definitely partially my fault. Actually, 90% my fault for like getting things to line up correctly and just being a little bit overall confused, I guess. But other than that, things are going well. I need to put on the buttons soon. I don't know if I had the ribbing done last time. I might have, but it's looking really good. I'm super excited for this to be finished. I could definitely still wear it some days out here because it's like 70 degrees, which is like borderline too hot. So I think it might have already passed the timing in which I can wear this jacket, which is kind of sad, but that's okay. I think I'm still planning to knit a lot of more non-summer sort of tops and items. I do have a lot of sock yarn, so I'm gonna definitely be knitting a lot of socks this summer, but I guess I'll just knit a lot of winter things and then have it for later. But we'll see. Hopefully I can finish that also before the next podcast. Now, my next whip is a sock. Of course, this is the, let me check. This is the Forest Trail sock by, oh goodness, I'm really not gonna say this correct. Feine Handarbeiten. I have no clue if I said that right. But it is also a pattern from 52 Weeks of Socks. I think it might have been volume 2. But here it is. I'm using the hand-dyed Kuen Yarn. And it looks like this. It has some broken rib, twisted stitches, and then 1 cable. It has a heel flap and gusset, and then it's just a pretty standard sock. It also has a twisted rib on the top. I don't know how much I'm actually liking this sock so far. Usually when I'm knitting a sock, I'm like, oh, I really like this, or at least all the ones that I've made so far I've really liked. But this one, I think it's the colors and then the speckles and the yarn that I'm not sure I'm loving quite yet. I think after I finish it and block it, I'll definitely be more inclined to like it, if that makes sense. I thought when I was looking at the yarn originally that the speckles were more of a brown, but when you kind of look at it here, I feel like it's more black than brown. And so the heel being this brown, I feel like it looks kind of off. Maybe from far away. I feel like from far away you can't really tell. But this is my first time doing a sock with like a different heel color, and I'm liking it. However, I don't know where I messed up. Okay, if you can see this side, ooh, looks so perfect, all straight and nice. And then this side, I'm such a perfectionist. This like probably doesn't bother most people, but it feels like this is like sticking out and it's really bothering me. But I don't want to go back really at this point. I'm going to try to heal my inner self and tell myself that it's fine. So I'm not going to be going back. I'm going to hold myself accountable to that. I'm no more going back. I do need to weave in some ends because they're annoying me. But so far everything's going well. The pattern, the chart is only like 2 rows, so it's obviously super easy to memorize. One thing that I found really funny is when I was starting this, I kind of like it inside out better. Like, doesn't that look kind of cool? I'm kind of inclined to make the same sock, but do like the opposite, if that makes sense, so that I'll get this on the outside. I've never done like a ribbing on a sock or anything where the pearls were twisted but the knits were regular, and that's what this would look like. And I feel like it's like kind of interesting because there's compared to like a 1x1 rib, it's definitely got more space between this one. I don't know, they look really straight and I really like it. And then the like top part, I don't know, something about this is really making me happy. I have no idea why. And like the columns of knits, I think I like better than the pearls. And for some I don't know, I seem to be way more excited about the fact that I like it inside out better. I don't know, maybe I'll like make a reversed forest trail sock sometime. I don't know, don't you think that looks kind of cool? I like it. Anyways, this yarn is so much softer than I thought it was gonna be. It's just as soft. It's like a different type of soft than the Cascade Heritage, but it's pilling way less. Actually, there's been no pilling. It feels a lot thicker and like hardier, if that makes sense. And I'm really liking it. I feel like it's gonna, I did just say earlier that I didn't know if I like the color, but I think it's gonna be great. I've changed my mind. I'm gonna be optimistic about it. I think it looks good from far away. So yeah, hopefully I'll get some good time on this sock and have one at least done so I can get an idea of what it looks like finished. I think it'll look more cohesive when I get to the toe and I knit the toe part, the brown. So we'll see. But yeah, that was my this is my third whip. I don't have any acquisitions this time, which is definitely probably a good thing because I don't want to be spending a lot of money on yarn, which I already have a lot of, and I'm going to be using. Only knitting from stash until I use up most of it, but I do have one plan / something I'm going to cast on very soon. It is the Northern Augustins number 7. I talked about this, I think, in my spring planning video that I was gonna do it, and I have a swatch. It is a little bit too tight, so I'm probably gonna go up 1 gauge size, or 1 needle size, or maybe like 0.5 millimeter. I usually would try to go up a size instead because I do like the fabric, but I don't think I would have enough yarn, so I'm gonna go up a needle size and hope that the fabric doesn't change too much. But it's a pattern by Augustins DK, a colorwork round yoke top down sweater. I love the color work. I'm so excited. I switched the dark color and the light color around so that what would have been the white is going to be the dark. So I think it'll look pretty cool. I am a little concerned that this might give me allergy problems. The mohair is a lot more, it sheds a lot more than the other mohairs I've used, and I've had a history of having some trouble with possibly, it's not the mohair, like a lot of people get itchy from it, but sometimes I get some like breathing issues, which is a little scary, but hopefully it'll be okay. If not, I'll have to just put it away for a little bit. I know it is summer, and I'm thinking about knitting this like full color work mohair jumper sweater, but I will be knitting it inside with the air conditioning on, so hopefully I can get through it. I want to get through it because I really like, I'm not making anything color work right now, and I'm really itching to, I love following like the diagrams and just seeing it grow. It's so much fun. So I'll get to this very soon. For the cast on, I do need 2 sets of needles, I believe. So one of my cables is being used that I would need for both. So I'll have to wait a little bit, but that's okay. So there's a swatch. The yarn I'm using is 2 things of Kid Silk. So I have this cream color and the brown color. I'll put the colors down below, as well as Santa's Garn Sunday in this brown and white color. Honestly, they work really well together. I've never used Sunday before, but honestly, I think it's pretty comparable to knitting for all of merino. I'm not sure. It might be ever so slightly thicker. Oh, no, I think they're about the exact same. Maybe I'll hopefully have some leftovers and able to knit something else with it maybe, but we'll see. So that's it for all of my like plans and acquisitions. Actually, no acquisitions. Just all my works in progress. It's been a rather short episode. There's one more thing that I want to talk about before we stop, but there's one pattern. Maybe I'll do this sometimes, like a pattern spotlight maybe, but there's this one pattern I saw on Instagram the other day, and I want to make it so bad. I saw it and I was like, yeah, I'm going to be making that. It's the degen. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correct. Degen, and it's the like a tulip intarsia sweater. I love this pattern. I would buy this sweater if it was in a store probably, so why not make it? But the one thing is, I'm not too sure how much I'm gonna like intarsia because I don't like knitting things flat, and you have to knit the whole thing flat, and I don't really like knitting things flat. So I will first finish my other colorwork sweater because I don't want to be starting all these things at once. I want to go, you know, semi project by project, but not as in like a monogamous knitter, if you know what I mean, but you know. So maybe I will plan on knitting that in like September or something, like leading up to winter, which is kind of far away, but that's okay. I'd love to know if anyone has any recommendations for summer knitting patterns. I've seen a few that I like, but I want something simple, but I don't really like, I don't know. I really like the summer knitting patterns that have the edging, like the double knitted edging. I feel like it looks really fancy and complete. I did see a knitting for olive pattern, I believe, the other day. That was like kind of cute. It's like a striped tank top. So maybe I'll make that. I don't know. I would love to use some of my scrap yarn to hopefully make some of those projects. And I also could use my fingering sock yarn. I don't know why I didn't think of that. But yeah, today has been kind of a short episode, but I hope you enjoyed maybe seeing some progress on my projects, and maybe you got some progress done as well. I'd love to know. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye!